Okay, we are live. Yes, we are. Hello, guys. How's everybody doing out there? I'm Vernon Kid here, back again. It's open mic night. First open mic for the month of April is here. Sorry for the delay, guys. It was supposed to start about a few minutes ago. Uh, and let's just say, without going too deep into detail, nature called. There you go. So, um, I apologize for not being able to get it up right at 9:15. It is February 13th, April 13th, April 13th, 2023. I am your host, your alpha, Mount Vernon Kid. Most of you have come accustomed to know me by my first name. That is a given that I have bestowed upon many of you. We are always the pack continues to grow. The pack is always growing, guys. Always growing. And the goal is still the same. Hasn't changed since I made it to double digits. Well, thousands, double thousands in terms of pack members. We're still on that 20K to reach 20K. Um, Pretty much, yes. We're still on the road to 20K. But here we are. But in doing so, right now, we are still here. And I see people coming in. That's good to know. It is hot as hell up here in New York. It's about 80 degrees. 80 degrees. I don't know how it is anywhere else, but here New York, it is feeling like summertime. Summer came early. And all we've had some wacky weather for a while, especially here in New York. Like there are times it was fluctuating between, especially even in March, which is supposed to be like the coldest month, especially here in. It was fluctuated. There was times it was 60 degrees and things like that. It just don't ever say global warming don't exist, because I will slap you in the face for saying that. But yeah, it is extremely hot here, up here in New York. I got my windows open. It's gonna cool down a little bit as the later it gets. But yeah, man, I'm here um to answer your questions to the best of my ability, as always. Give me your best shot. Um Also, we have we've been doing a couple of new things in terms that's coming for the channel, and some of the old things have returned. Season 4 of non-comic book lineup returned yesterday. Go check that out. I put up my reaction to the Marvels teaser. Liked it very much. And that was for not putting up a reaction to the Blue Beetle. I was just busy that day, so I couldn't really get anything out that day. Uh, I've seen a lot of movies as of late, which I will give. I promise, guys. I promise you guys. I will put up every review. There will be a review for every movie I've seen in 2023. Any movie of 2023 I have seen. The last two movies that I saw was Creed 3 and Captain Marvel: Fury of the Gods. Like them both. I still need to see Scream, and I still need to see John Wick before I go see Evil Dead Rise and the new Russell Crowe movie, which what is it, Pope's Exorcist. I definitely want to see that. So yeah, man. A lot of things to come, and looking forward to hearing what you guys got to ask me. Just rule number one, please uh, keep things kind of to a minimum that we have discussed before. Okay, please keep that stuff to the bare minimum. Fair warning, If I say once, I've answered that before, take that as a cue that, okay, I'm not going to ask that again. Because I keep track of certain people who ask the same questions over and over and over again. And I have. And I tell you all the time, I've answered that question before. Do I need to repeat myself? Just say it. So Cyborg or Kuma, your birthday is tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday. Uh, there's a couple of friends' birthdays today. So yeah. Quentin is here. Marion, Sean. What's good, guys? And Andre is here. Travis is here. That's good. That is good. In terms of who's here. And who else is here? Let me make sure, because like I said, let me open this, make sure this chat is, because then I'll be missing questions and stuff like that. All right, so far nobody else is. All right. Birthday was last week. Marion, yeah, turned 33. Congratulations, 33. First and foremost, guys, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Just to make sure y'all can hear me, because usually sometimes I get word like I'm not being heard or something like that. So thumbs up the emoji and let me know if you all can hear me. I'll wait. Yeah. All right, we got a couple of thumbs up. That's good. The locks. Want to make sure I got everything turned off. Oh, Yankees lost. Damn it. Yankees lost to the Twins. Damn it. 2-11. God damn. Them Twins beat you. Come on. Okay, that's 2. I need acknowledgement from everybody who's in that chat. Let's go. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. All right. Chris Funk, what's up, dude? All right, we got a couple of people. All right, that's good. 4. All right, I'll go with 4. That's cool. So I'm gonna look at some of these questions. Don't like pranks. Okay. Hey Chris, how you doing? I am fine, Andre. Very fine indeed. Fine indeed. Can't complain. Don't like pranks. Is that a question, Travis? Because I don't mind a prank. I don't mind a good prank. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, I'm fine. But if somebody gets hurt in the process, then I don't like it. I'm not cool with it. Like that's even in general. Like if somebody falls or like there's a trick or something, and somebody falls on, then yeah, and they're hurt. I'm not laughing. Fair warning, also, guys. If you see me get up and run to the bathroom, just know there is a reason for that, because I drink about 70 ounces of water. I've been drinking about 70 ounces of water a day now, so I'll go to the bathroom. So if you see me, gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Just know that that's the reason why. No, I did not watch Our House. I know Our House ended, and I still need to catch up on that show. So If you didn't see a review, that means I didn't watch it. Uh, so I will catch up on Our House. Kind of glad it's over, so I don't have to wait for new episodes. I can just watch it straight through with them. Did you see Super Mario Brothers? No, I did not. And I am still wondering, am I going to? Because y'all know me. Y'all know me. I have. Let me tell you, movies I have seen as of 2023. Megan, Legion of Superheroes, Ant-Man, Quantumania, Creed 3, Captain Marvel, Fury of the Gods, and yeah, that's about it. Um, I still have not seen Scream. I have not seen John Wick 4. And there are two other movies that are coming out soon that are on my radar to watch. Sean, Evil Dead Rises, because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. And the Russell Crowe movie, The Pope's Exorcist, which, yeah, I'm into that kind of stuff, but which is kind of based on true events. He's actually playing a real father that actually did that kind of work, and he has documented cases of it. That's scary. So I haven't seen it. Those are the movies yet. The Super Mario Brothers movie, I may see. Here's the thing. Watched the trailer, and then I watched a couple of TV spots and them showing like Princess Peach, Peach is is not the damsel in distress in this, and I'm like, really, the ultimate damsel in distress. But they just switched that to Luigi from the trailers, and I'm like, nope, no, thank you. Um, so favorite John Woo movies. Favorite John Woo movie. Uh, Too many, but one that I can name right off the top of my head. Uh, would definitely have to be. I won't go with. I won't go with Face Off. I do love Face Off. But I gotta start it off with the first John Woo movie I saw, and it wasn't Face Off, and it wasn't Broken Arrow. It was Hard Boiled. That was the first John Woo movie I ever seen, and Hard Boiled is considered one of the. It's ranked as one of the eighth best action movies in the world. So we're talking Chow Yun Fat as Tequila, with the gung fu and everything. Yeah, yeah, I'm. That's my one of my favorite John Woo movies. Since you said if Black Canary was in the Marvel universe, she would be a mutant. Does this mean she would join the X-Men? I don't know, because that you'll just have to find out, because somebody asked me to do that for an opinion spot. So just wait for that opinion spot. I'm not gonna spoil it here. Can Link beat Bellows from the Owl House? Maybe. But I would say yes, it's Link. I'm down playing Link. Who's your favorite Super Smash Bros. Game? By my favorite is Super Smash Bros. Melee. And Super. Wait, what is your favorite Super Smash Brothers game? My favorite is Melee. in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Melee's great. Uh, you know, I'll give Smash Bros. A lot of credit. You know, they have been able to get the abundance of characters they have been able to get to come over. You talk about forbidden doors. Does it all the time. Have you watched Netflix show Beef? I seen the trailer with Steven Yeun and all them. It looks interesting. I'm getting ready to watch The Night Agent. That's what's interests me more. Um, what do you think of? I talked about I talked about Abdul Mati as Wonder Man. Go watch it. Uh, I talked about it. Yaya. I talked about Yaya playing Wonder Man. And again, all I said was, and again, I said before, if they're gonna make Simon Williams in the MCU black, then Grim Reaper better be black. And to find out that they did cast a black actor to play Grim Reaper, I was like, okay, that's fine by me. Again, I'm getting to the age now where I look at some of these casting, and I know why they do it. And if you let it consume you too much, then you can't enjoy it for what it is. Um, and let's be honest, there ain't a lot of people that know who Wonder Man is. Like, only true comic fans know Simon Williams. There ain't a lot of they don't know who that, and most of the stuff is also broad showcase for just the average. They're not dedicated to comic readers as much. It's true. You won't see them make turning. You'll notice one thing. Notice that truly they won't truly change the race of very high profile Marvel characters. They won't do that. But lesser known but lesser to the degree, they'll do it. They'll do it. For example, look at Werewolf by Night. They casted a Spanish actor to play Jack Russell. Um, of course, Moon Knight. They Oscar Isaac, great, but yeah, Moon Knight's not Latino, but he had to play like he was. So yeah, things like that. Uh, what if Zelda uh, was had the Witchblade? What if the Witchblade chose Zelda? That'd be interesting. The Witchblade can only work with women, so yeah, I could definitely see Zelda getting that because the Witchblade has gone to some very prominent women, Cleopatra, Joan of Arc. They've all had it. They've all had the Witchblade at one point in their life. Egg Chris, nice glasses. Thank you. Uh, if you were to do a Legend of Zelda movie, who would you have as the villain for the first movie? Uh, you don't have to have Ganon. Ganon's got to be in it, but you don't have to have him as the main villain. Um, to a degree, no, you don't. But he would have to be in it. That's a tough one, just right off the top of my head to think. And do I want a Legend of Zelda movie? Yeah, I do. Any thoughts on the new Star Wars announcement? I'm cool with it. Cool with it. Ahsoka is right up there. I mean, Rosario is she's God. She's a goddess. So I'll watch anything Rosario. I have a huge crush on Rosario Dawson still to this day. Like, so her coming out as a Ahsoka is great. And I love that she gives credit to the artist that first designed her like that, Boss Logic. If Y'all know Boss Logic? Yeah, it was him who did the whole phase, and he made her look like Ahsoka, and then she saw it, she retweeted it, and all of a sudden, yeah, she got that phone call saying, "Hey," and then the rest is history. So definitely. What is your favorite Kyle Rayner costume? Mine is the classic. Uh, yeah, I always dig Kyle's regular is his classic lantern costume. With the mask that look like goggles. I don't that that's cool. What DC villains do you see coming to Wakanda to steal vibranium? You pick your pick. You mean trying to steal? They ain't getting away. Hunter Jones, hey Chris, hello, what's up? Want a spiral animated film? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Spiral. I was never really the biggest Spiral fan, so I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't hurt, but I wasn't the biggest. Crossbones and Sin Bonnie and and Clyde Marvel Universe. What? Do you see the Kree trying to invade Krypton? How? The Krypton exploded, so they couldn't. Do you think Kratos versus Thor and God of War was worth the wait? From what I saw, it was fine. It was fine. I didn't mind it at all. Who is more evil, Red Skull or Joker? Red Skull. Joker is one, but he has his moral. He ain't no Nazi. Right there, that just easily. He's a Nazi. Right there, you can't compete with that. Andre, are you going to see the Blue Beetle movie coming out? Yeah, I am. I'm going to see Blue Beetle. I'm going to see every. Know this. I'm going to see every comic movie coming out this year. That's you. Y'all should know that by now. I'm not missing any comic movie. The ones that I want to see. Blue Beetle is the one that I want to see the most. Um, the only comic movie I can give flying, you know what for. I'm not trying to curse because I already got notified by YouTube saying that I kind of toned down on the language. I've never got that before, but that was weird. Especially, but yeah, I can care less about the Flash movie. That I give a flying, you know what. I will not be seeing that. I don't care. Um, I don't care that it's got Michael Keaton. I like Michael Keaton, but that's fan service. That whole dang trailer, the whole dang trailer was just fan service, and I can care less. But the Blue Beetle, yes, Blue Beetle was definitely one I wanted to see. Captain Marvel 2 was definitely one I wanted to see, and I like Captain Marvel, but uh one thing I have to recognize, and this actually was first acknowledged to me by a friend of me and my brothers. Um, I like Zachary Levi as Captain Marvel, the captain. But here's the kicker, and here's something that maybe you guys should look at. Go back and watch. How come when he is Billy, he acts more adult, but when he turns to the captain, he acts more like a kid? That's not how it's is. It was always balanced. He acts too much like a kid. I was introduced to your channel by my good friend, uh, Mr. Multiverse. Oh, Tyler. Yeah, I know Tyler. uh, did you see the teaser for My Adventures with Superman? I saw it. I saw it. It looks okay. I'll probably give it a shot. Um, I probably will. It's got an anime feel to it, so it's cool. Black Adam versus Thor. Would from God of War, Ragnarok, who you think would win? Maybe Black Adam by a smidget. Maybe Shang-Chi and Iron Fist versus Karate Kid and Richard Dragon. That would be actually a really good fight. But I really don't want to do it because they're heroes, and I'd get so sick of hero versus hero fights. Um, but as martial artists, yeah, it'd be cool. Marion, with the Red Skull, you know you're evil when the Joker is disgusted with you. That's what I'm saying. Like putting them together. If you're gonna put Red Skull with any villains, I'm gonna always put Red Skull because dude's a Nazi. He doesn't deny it, and he yeah. Blue Beetle having Buster swords. Well, yeah, he the armor can do that, turn into sword and stuff like that. Which female member of the X-Men would you go on a date with? Andre. Really? I've answered this question before. Who do you think? To see? Why do you ask questions you already knows the answers to? There it is. Thoughts on Indiana Jones 5, because me and my dad are going to see. Of course, I'm going to see Indy. I am a huge Indiana Jones fan, and I owe it to finish the series. I saw the last three Indiana Jones in theaters. Uh, Last Crusade, Crystal Skull, and I will see this one. Uh, if you'd have asked me what is my favorite out of the franchise, Last Crusade. Last Crusade has very special meaning. Not just because it's my favorite, but it has more meaning to it than anything. It was the first to last movie that I saw with my late mother. Um, she took me to go see that movie. We saw that movie together. It was one of two. It was the first of one movie that I saw before she passed in '95. The other movie was The Lion King. Those movies are very special to me. So whenever those movies are up, whether it's on cable or anything like that, I'm looking at it right now in my collection, so I could see it. I will watch it. But yeah, I'm going to check it out. Definitely. It was good to see Sala. I was like, is that Sala? John Rhys Davis. I was like, cool. Caroline, do you think the new DCU will have Young Justice more than the Titans? Are we talking about the comics, or are we talking about like the movies? Because if you're missing the E, uh, no, they won't. Travis, should Marvel use Ghost Rider's brother more? Uh, Dan Kench is coming back in the comics. He's always around. Dan is always around, but Dan is different from Johnny. They always One thing I do appreciate is that they always try to separate them from each other. Like, yeah, they are different. But I wouldn't mind seeing, Dan. Dan was the first Ghost Rider I started reading. Um, when I was reading Ghost Rider, Dan Kench was Ghost Rider, and Jesus Christ, and there would be times I would see this guy called Blaze in the book. I'm like, who's this? Who's this Blaze guy that keeps following him? And then you find out that was the original Ghost Rider, and and then I went back and read the first run. Uh, the fourth Indiana Jones movie wasn't that bad. It's okay. Crystal Skull was not terrible. It could have been better, and the problem with I think in general was for me knowing that this movie took place in the 50s, and what was the big phenomenon of the 1950s in this country? UFOs, aliens, 1954, Roswell, New Mexico, things like that. So Yeah, I figured they were gonna go that route. I kind of wish they didn't, but it was okay. Um, I do like the fact that he finally married Mary, and I hope they bring that up in this one, like what's going on with him and Mary, and his son. I thought that was a little. I kind of was like, yeah, I don't really care too much for that. I really wish Short Round was in this one too. I was like, yeah, that would have been great to see an older Shorty. Um, the movies. Oh, okay. Titans. I hope Titans, Caroline mostly. In Marion asks in '90s Spider-Man animated series, what were your reaction when Spider-Man's characters changed after he lost Mary Jane? I could understand it. It's love of his life. Like, wouldn't you change? You would change too. You know. Thank you and stay safe. Thank you. So which of these supervillain DC nations would you rather live in? Uh, Kondak, Val Valtavia, Santa Prisca, or Gomorrah? Uh, really none of them. I mean, Kondak is not as bad because one, it's just you're just being ruled by Adam. You know, Santa Prisca is a prison, so I ain't going there. um, Quentin, I can't wait for the Swamp Thing movie. Yes, that's definitely. I cannot wait for that. In terms of the first crop of movies under James Gunn's new reboot, um, DCEU, Swamp Thing is definitely up there. I've been wanting a Swamp Thing movie since, and I loved when they did the TV series. It was dark, it was gritty, it was perfect. It was right. It was the right way it's supposed to go. Um, in terms of the movies, I am looking forward to seeing how they do the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is based off of Tom King's miniseries. I'm wondering who they're gonna cast as Superman, things like that. So yeah, there are certain things. Let me make sure. Let's see. Moving on. Yo, Chris, what's good? What's good? Dano. Travis, has Aunt May met Teresa yet? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think she's met her yet. I don't. For all those who are wondering who Teresa is, Teresa happens to be Peter Parker's sister. They acknowledged that yeah, there was another Parker kid. Richard and Mary had another child prior to them dying or so. Uh, there's a video game series you should check out called The Dark Picture. Yeah, I know those. Those I've played a lot of those, and basically they're made by the same people that made Until Dawn and all those, and I like them. Some of them I like. So a lot of them was a waste. I didn't care for them too much because they weren't horror. They were. It kept coming down to like there was one that was supposed to be Metal Dawn of Madon, Metal of the Madon. I thought it was gonna be a real ghost ship. No, it was the gas that made people think. I was like, so when they finally did the one where it took place in Sumeria or former Sumeria, and they had the real creatures underground, I was like, yeah, there we go. These are real. I like that. And then the last one that came out, which I need to play. I haven't played that yet, so don't spoil anything, please. I have stayed away from any kind of image of the camp, quarantine, all that stuff. I have. In Injustice, if Black Canary managed to kill Superman before he could do anything, what do you think the consequences would be, and how do you think it would have affected the regime? If Canary didn't get seriously hurt by Superman, because she nearly died. Um, she nearly died, and Dr. Fate took her. Um, if they took down Superman, yeah, that would have really broken the morale of the regime. That's no matter what. Say what you want. Oh, but they had Wonder Woman. Yes, Wonder Woman is strong, but you know, Superman is the gun that you're like, oh shit. Excuse my language. I probably can get away with saying one curse, YouTube, so chill with that. Uh, did I miss a question? No, I did. Okay, Quentin. This is some characters we get annoyed of by Princess Peach. Spider-Man and Kyrie, they will be annoyed by Princess Peach. I guess. Favorite Blue Beetle moment. I think the first one is telling his good friends Paco and Amanda what he is. I always like that. Have you seen the Super Mario Brothers movie? No, I have not. Again, I have not seen that. Let me repeat. I will continue to repeat this for new people. The movies I've seen for 2023 are as follow: Megan, Legion of Superheroes, which should have really been called Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. Uh, Ant-Man, Quantumania, Creed 3, Fury of the Creed 3, Captain Marvel, Fury of the Gods, Cocaine Bear. Uh, I have not seen Scream, John Wick, any of them. I need to see those. Before Evil Dead Rise and The Pope's Exorcist, which I want to see. Chris Funk. Should DC recast all the DC actors? I've been asked this question a lot. I have been asked this question: should there be a major recasting? And I've kind of said there's a part of me that says yes. You want to do a fresh start. James Gunn wants a fresh start. His so-called run doesn't really start until Superman Legacy. But it reminds me, this is starting to, and in hindsight, I say yes. But we do know that the Waller movie that is coming out, the Waller show, uh, we're still having Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and uh, and one moment, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I needed to get a spoon. Where was I? Oh, it is stated that Viola Davis is still being Amanda Waller. So there are parts of me that says maybe some, but the major ones I kind of feel like yes. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to seen Henry Cavill back as Superman, but again, this is starting to remind me of how DC and Warner Brothers has done their crop of DC animated features. And you don't get it, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about, okay, let me explain it to you. Oh crap. That's actually good. So let me explain that to you. So yes, we look at, for example, look at the earlier crops of DC movies, of animated films, from your Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, Apocalypse, all those movies. The Wonder Woman from 2009 that Gail wrote, um, things like that. Once they did Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, what happened? The style of the animated films changed. The DC animated universe movies became uh more trending of the new 52, right? It did all those movies. And then um and there were some fun ones, but a lot of the new 52 movies focused too much on Batman, which I was just tired of. I was like, yeah, everything is focused on Batman versus Robin, this blah, 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 blah. Even Justice League Dark, I'm like, why is Batman in this movie? Why is he in this movie? He doesn't need to be in this movie. And that was the case. What happened after that? Then they did Apocalypse War, which to me, I know there's a lot of people that loved it. I hated it because basically this was clearly a blatant ripoff. They would just copy Marvel. I'm like, God dang, y'all couldn't come up with your own idea. Basically, you basically have it where Darkseid and almost all the characters are killed off or altered. I was like, really? That was terrible. I hated that. And then what happened? What happened at the end? Constantine says to Flash, you know what you gotta do, mate. You know what you gotta do. He got up, started running, bright lights, and it seemed like he changed the world again. And what happened next? Then we got the Tomorrowverse. So, in my opinion, yes, Chris, I think maybe they should recast all of the actors in terms of that. I recently just did a video, one of you guys requests for the opinion spot on recasting Aquaman. If they don't bring Momoa back, and you can go look on there. I only chose 4 right now, and that was hard. That was hard to do because, and I got some help from a friend of mine who helped me. So go check it out. But yes, in terms of know for a fact, they definitely are recasting Batman in Brave and the Bold, and that's going to be interesting. But there are some things about, I feel like maybe, for example, the actor who plays Nightwing in Titans, he said he will be all game to come back as Dick Grayson in Gunn's DCU. I'm like, yeah, I'll take him. I want Dick Grayson to get some shine, and because he hasn't. How many times have we seen DC say, "Oh, we're going to do a Nightwing movie" or something like that? Never happens. Never happened. Terrible. So yes, to a degree, yes, 50-50. Have you read Batman Wayne Family Adventures? Mm-mm. Right now, right now I'm starting to read Chip Zdarsky's Batman. I got the first volume in trade. Um, so I posted up on my saying he kills it on he kills it with Daredevil. Let's see what he can do with the Dark Knight. Long lost siblings in comics is weird, isn't it? Sometimes. Um, it's weird when you don't have a good backstory to back it up. Teresa Parker came, I believe I think it was Mark Waid that created her, and that was for that. It was an original Spider-Man novel, and when they incorporated her into the main continuity. But sometimes it can be if you don't have the proper backstory to it. Yeah, it could suck. That's why I'm not big on it. Even if it is a long lost sibling. That's why in general I don't like Silk. I don't like her. And the main reason why I don't like her is not because of her, it's because of her origin. Her origin makes no goddamn sense. And the fact that they got away with that is ridiculous. And for anybody who's asking, what is he talking about? So Cindy Moon, Silk, is a spider themed character like Spider-Man and all those. She was supposedly bitten by the same spider that bit Peter back all those years when he was 15. He was that 15-year-old boy. The spider that bit him, she was in the vicinity too. And when it bit him and he flung it, supposedly it flung and jumped on her, landed on her, and bit her too. Doesn't make sense because you go back, and this is where I don't like seeing retconning because to me that was stupid. Not only was it stupid, then you got the fact that if they were bitten by the same spider, how come she has different abilities? Some of her abilities are different than Peter's. It's stupid. Makes no damn sense. Miles, I get. Miles, I get. Her, I do not. It made no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. And then they went even further. That spider that bit Peter and Cindy grew, grew, got bigger and bigger, and has been watching them from the shadows, almost like a proud papa. And if he feels they're being too threatened, it will come after the people trying to hurt them. I'm like, wait, what the? They're basically saying that spider lived. It was irradiated, so it got bigger and it got more intelligent because of the radiation. I'm like, oh my god, stuff like that I don't like. I'm like, why are you doing that? That made no sense. It's an interesting idea, but sometimes when you have interesting ideas, should it really be executed? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Andre, so which fictional Marvel language would you like to learn? Atlantean, Wakandan, Latvian, or Asgardian? Asgardian is just ancient Nordic. That there's no difference. There's no difference with that. Atlantean and Wakandan for sure. Do you think Lupin the Third and Batman crossover would work? Uh, no. Uh, that's not Lupin is not worth Batman's time. He's not. I know. Yes, Batman's a detective, and Lupin's a thief, but it's not worth his time. The Detective Conan and Lupin the Third crossover they did animated was great. That's that. Watch that. In your opinion, do you think the Blue Beetle might have been inspired by the Guyver? Absolutely. The Guyver inspired Blue Beetle, most like. Well, no, yes, inspired Jaime Blue Beetle, not Ted Cord or Dan Garrett, the original. Guyver inspired Darkhawk from Marvel because that's all Darkhawk is. Darkhawk is the Marvel equivalent of the Guyver. Blue Beetle, same thing. Their armor is more biotech than just technology. Hunter, do you think the uh, Yuzan Vaughn will ever come back into canon? Because I love the story from Star Wars Legend. I doubt it. I doubt it. I've been wanting to see certain things from Star Wars coming to fruition in this stuff and never happened. For example, the biggest one that most of the people know me, Mara Jade. I've been wanting to see Mara Jade real since she was introduced in the extended universe, and they're not going to do it, and that sucks because that's Luke's real wife. In your opinion, this is from Marion. In Injustice, do you think the regime would crumble once Superman is gone? Not crumble. They would try to reform, try to, under some other leadership, like I would see in some case maybe Wonder Woman and Adam, fighting for leadership. It would be infighting that would bring it down, most likely. Travis, have you ever docked Grizzly Man? What? I don't understand what you just said. Should Artemis Croc be in the new DCNU? Uh, well, first you gotta. I don't know. I'm not sure because to me all she really is just really Arrowetta, and they finally added her into, but I don't know. I don't. And when I think of Artemis, I think of Artemis from the Amazons. I don't think her. But Andre, so here's an idea for you for a new Marvel superhero. So, what would you think about a female native South American hero who's also the last of the uh, Dora Danans? Cool. That'd be kind of cool. I would even go as far as to making a if we're going to stay South America, let's stay that. Um, I would do more where we have people who are avatars. Like I would have her, someone who is an avatar of the Aztec Jaguar God. I would do that. I'm forgetting the Jaguar God's name. I'm I'm pretty good with Aztec gods as well, but sometimes I forget their names. what's your favorite pantheon? Egyptian, Greek, Norse, or what? Sumerian. The one I would say the one that I know the more about, like that. Like I know the stories just like that. Uh so it'll be mostly a tie between the Olympians and the Egyptian gods. Because I'm still learning stuff about Norse gods all the time. You know, I'm always learning about certain things, and for example, like Tear Tear probably we saw Tear in the late goddess the God of War movie, but the biggest thing that happened to him in terms of literature that they show is he's the one that got his hand bitten off by one of Loki's children, the first wolf. Um, uh, but I'm still learning, like in terms of like how important Odin was to Norse mythology. Like, Odin represented so much more than just what the All Father. He was the god of knowledge and god of this and god of that. They're a little, and what I do love about the Norse gods are they're a lot different from the Olympians because they're incorporated into different realms, and it's really cool. Like all that kind of stuff is real. Like in terms of like even how Thor and them do it, it's Thor. When you look at Marvel's Thor in terms of the realms and the world tree and all that stuff, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were taking from actual, but they just twisted it a little bit into to make it feel more like a superhero. Like, the whole concept of Thor, yes, still loving the people and being a part of the people, yes, is true. In Marvel, Thor is the son of Odin, and but his biological mother is the Greek Titan, uh, Gaia. That's why he's so close to why he stays on Midgard, Earth, more than he's in Asgard. Um, Instead of being Freya, Frigga. Freya is a different god. Sometimes they put Freya and Frigga together, but most literature will say they were two different because Freya was also a Valkyrie, things like that. So um, I know more about Greek and Egyptian gods more than I'm still learning about Norse gods and Celtic gods, and I love learning about the mythology of gods and things like that. Like for example, in the Celtic gods, I mean, you probably all heard of Cú Chulainn, the hero of Ulster, like, and that was real. That was legit real. Like that was legit stories about that. He was a half god. You probably seen him if you know what I'm talking about because you've seen they did a big episode on him in Gargoyles. He was real. Um, and of course Balor, the demon Balor in Greek in Celt is it was he's like the big demon, things like that. So this is real. So I do know more about uh, those more, but I love mythology in general. But yes, of course the Olympians are going to get more spotlight than any other pantheons because that's how it looks like it's represented. But if you think about it, the Olympians are mostly all of them are jerks or assholes or they don't give a crap about anybody. They really don't. To if you read the stories, to them, mortals are just playthings to them. And you don't buy that, just look at Zeus. Zeus is a prime example of that. The man has over 100 kids. Why? Because he couldn't keep it in his pants. And the dude is fucking married. So you wonder why Hera went on some tirades and did this to people and things like that. But and to me, I also look at it because Zeus did it. It transcended to his brothers like Poseidon and Hades and things like that. He was doing it, so they was like, "Hey, well, we could do it too." But like a good example of this, and I'm gonna end it here. Malcolm's playing games. Uh, Poseidon, y'all know the story of Medusa, right? Well, there's different stories, but most of them say the same thing. Medusa was either raped by Poseidon in the temple of Athena because she was a servant of Athena, and Athena punished her and turned her into the Gorgon. And her sisters decided you did that to her, so do it to her. That's why they said there's three Gorgon sisters. The difference is only Medusa was not immortal. Her other two sisters were, and they were rumored to be more fierce than Medusa. So yeah, they don't show that much in, like, you see them when Hollywood does these. They always show Medusa. They don't talk about her other two sisters, but we did see them in God of War, and they were like vicious. So yeah, you the Olympians are more assholes and jerks, and that's why, like, when I did write a story about the Olympians, I wrote a story about the Olympians that many of them started to realize that maybe we should change. I wrote a story where the Olympians, many of them spent centuries on Earth in disguise as mortals and walked amongst us and learned more about being in touch with their emotions, and not just looking at it, just being internal and things like that. I never finished it, but it was meant to be like they were going to go back, even to the point where I had it where Hera was going to even apologize to certain people, like Hercules, who's I had in my story where he did become a god, and he was going to apologize. She would finally apologize to him for everything she's done to him in terms of the 12 labors, having him go mad, and him orchestrating killing his family, things like that. So I did do that kind of stuff. It was good. That was a long time ago. I wrote that. I think I was like 20 when I wrote that. Oh, I'm not excited for Green Lantern show because they are the main characters are Hal and John. Should should I look? I wait that the Green Lantern show is mainly John Stewart and Hal Jordan. I love John. It's time for Kyle. It's time for Kyle. They say there's going to be other Green Lanterns, but it is the leads are definitely John and Hal, and I can agree with that. But at the same time, as I do like the Green Lantern mythos, and I will give it a shot. But yes, I mean, absolutely. Kyle gets pushed to the back burner. You know, hell, even Guy Gardner, who I don't like Guy Gardner that much, but even he gets pushed to the back. Um, I really wish they'd have kept the focus on Alan Scott, the original. Show respect to the original, but they don't. What's your thoughts? What's your favorite series from Dark Horse? Uh X. No. Period. Have you read any issues of Nintendo Power magazine as a kid? Yes, I did. Hunter, I have bad news. The spider pit scene from King Kong was never filmed. Those images were only test shoots. It wasn't in the movie because of the budget. Oh, okay. I did I say something about King Kong? I don't know. Caroline, I want justice and respect for all the Batgirls in terms of the movies. Mm. I honestly think Marvel won't let Spider-Man be happy to the point where they keep him and Mary Jane separated, is because they feel that if he's happy, it will make him boring. Do you agree? No, I don't agree with that. I think it's more of the case of they don't want him to evolve as an adult. They want to keep him almost man child like. And I still think a lot of them see it's more of a case is if he's not struggling or something, then he's not relatable. What do we always say about Spider-Man? He's one of the most relatable characters you can think of. Take that away from him and more of it's editorial. Take that editorial looks at that, we take that away from then he's not, but that's stupid. That's stupid. And I'm sure there's people up there that know that's stupid. And it's like, yo, why are we doing this? Again, every time we stop and start with them. We put them back together, then years later we want to separate them. Put them back together, then something tragic happens and brings them apart. It's gonna get old. It's gotten old and stupid. Which Sega or Nintendo IP you like to see have a sequel or remastered port? Well, I just saw a picture of it. Seemed like Jet Set Radio is getting a sequel. Um, I got my sequel with Streets of Rage. With Streets of Rage 4, that was great. Uh, I mean, you take your pick with Nintendo. I mean, there's so many characters that could use Captain Falcon, F Zero, all them characters. Come on, there's a bunch of them. I like Silk. I do get where you're coming from. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't hate her. It's just her origin is just weird. How powerful is Black Canary's cry? It's powerful. It's very powerful. Um, Definitely powerful. I mean, imagine her yelling at you full force. She can shatter your eardrums. She nearly shattered. She shattered Superman's eardrums. It's also based as much on her voice. Her voice is also because that is her. It's not like a mutants like all the mutants that got like sonic cries or even Black Bolt. It's different. It's a lot different. That's why you don't see her use it as much. She only uses it. The one thing I like about Dinah is she doesn't rely on her canary cry. She relies on her martial arts skills more than anything. You don't see her always just screaming. Yo, she does it when she needs to do it, and that's perfect for her. But it is very powerful. Whose side would you be on? Whose side would you be on in Civil War, Captain America? Captain America, I would be team all the way through. How about you guys? I hated Civil War. I hate Civil War. I hate the story. I hate it. It's one Marvel story I hate. I hate Civil War because at the end of the day, all that showed was the Civil War. Civil War showed nothing but stupidity, in my opinion. Um, you take a very established team like the New Warriors and make them jokes and make them a bunch of hacks. The series also just showcased it's easier to blame the heroes than the villain because who blew up Stamford, Connecticut? It wasn't them. It was Blockbuster. It was, I mean, Blockbuster. Nitro, the human bomb. He did it, and I hate it, and that's all it took. And we saw that a lot of these characters who've been friends for years, all of a sudden they turn, they become assholes. I mean, everybody knows that's really where Tony people started hating Iron Man because how he was acting. Um, it broke apart so many. The Fantastic Four got broken up. Ben left America and went to Paris because he was like, I'm not fighting my friends. He was the smart one. So yeah. Then we get it. Then the MCU does it. And like most MCU, they do the story better than the comics did it. At least in the movie, in the MCU version, you can understand where it was somewhat coming from. But in the comic, it made no damn sense. And don't get me started on part two. Stupid. Uh, but at the end of the day, I will say maybe Cap. You're going to any cons this year? Yes, I plan to go to some. New York Comic Con is on definitely on the table this year. But that's in October. In terms of upcoming conventions, um, I'm trying to go to the Boston Expose up in Boston. Um, uh, so yeah, that's definitely one. Um, I think the other one is Awesome Con in Washington, but that's coming up. So I may not. I like to be more prepared in terms of like things like that. But I also started a new job, so it's kind of help. It's kind of I gotta figure that out more, and I'm on probation in terms of my new gig. So, but yes, yeah. If you'll know if I'm at some convention if you see me posting pictures or something. So Chris, which Russian Soviet Marvel superhero happens to be your favorite? Colossus. There you go. Also, unlike Zeus, Odin actually cared about his kids. Yeah, to a degree, yeah, more he does. Um, which Green Lantern Corps characters? What Lantern Corps character would Princess Zelda trust more if she met them? Blue Lanterns, and she'd trust the Green Lanterns. Oh, what Green Lantern Corps character would she trust more? Uh that's a tough one. Depends on who's yeah, it does depend. No wonder why Kratos killed Zeus. I mean, yeah, and that was his father, right? If I just wanted to clarify from my previous question that I meant that she was the last queen of the I understood what you meant. That's what I said. I understand. So would you read a comic book featuring a Wild West version of Spider-Man, Miles Morales? That would be interesting. We're talking Wild West. Yeah, I mean, I'd read it. There are favorite Bruce Lee movie. Just curious. Take your pick. That's another one. That's another character with that one. Take your pick. I could say Fist of Fury. I could say Big. I could say The Return of the Dragon. I could say, there's too many. I'm a Bruce Lee fan, so one of my mentors. Wait, is Jackie Estacado from The Darkness Hispanic or Latino? Uh, think he's Latino. I think he's Spanish. Uh, I think he's Spanish. He's a hitman. I think I think it's I think he's Italian or because the mob he was a hitman for is called the Franceschi mob family, but Esticado, that sounds more like that sounds like a Spanish name. That sounds Spanish. So let's look it up and see what it is. Esticado. No, I don't want to know what it means. I mean, it kind of is a Spanish name. It's a Spanish name. Don't forget to, uh, yeah. Thank you, Chris. Chris Funk. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Uh, thank you. What was I? Yeah, I hate it when superheroes are unlikable. Pretty much. I love it when characters are kind and good. I like that too, but you can't always. They have to have layers to them. You can't. They just can't always be kind hearted. Even Cap has layers. You know, Superman has layers. You got to have layers. If a character is just good all the time, that worries me. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Something's wrong with him. If Spawn met the Justice League members, will wait. If Spawn met the Justice League members, will be good friends. Who would he be good friends with outside of Batman? Well, they're not. Well, okay. First of all, people get this misconception about Spawn and Batman being good friends. They're not good friends at all. Friends, yes. Good, not even close. Uh, mm, I don't know. I think a lot of them wouldn't want to trust him. Wouldn't trust him, especially like John. Did Civil War even need a sequel? No, it didn't, Perry. Do you think Ben Schwartz would be a good pick to play Plastic Man? I know who he is. It'll be interesting. What do you think about? What did you like about Mara Jade? Everything. She's smart. She's witty. She's brave. You know, she knew her own and then some more. To me, sometimes it was like, what did Luke see in her? I'm like, and then when you start reading more into her, you're like, okay, I can see what he saw in her. What if the Shadow or Batman ever, either one, would take on the organization from Detective Conan? That'd be fun. The Shadow would get down to it because he knows. I think Princess Zelda would trust Kyle. Kyle's gonna always be out there. I love your friend how he talks about my favorite movies and shows, especially cartoons. What's your favorite shows and movies and cartoons? because I'm a lot older than him. So in terms of like, what are you, Hunter? A '90s baby? You're probably more of a '90s baby. I'm an '80s brat. So you know, I've been through all that. Strawberry YT. That's like saying Goku and Vegeta are good friends. Well, yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, Goku, Son Goku would like to think that Vegeta. It seems still Vegeta. To me, Vegeta will never really accept the fact that Goku is better than him. He won't accept that. He won't acknowledge that. He did it one time, and then that was it. He won't acknowledge that. He they're two different breed of animals. While I look at this is how I look at it. Goku is like a tree. He's more like a tree with his roots sunk into the earth, always growing, always breaking another barrier, whatever. And Vegeta most of the time is like a he is more like a animal. He's more like a caged animal, always bearing his claws, ready to strike at times, in his fangs and everything. And you see that sometimes. You know, even just the way they carry themselves. Goku has a means of why he does what he does. Vegeta has a means of why he does the things he does. But the one thing you could see that the Dragon Ball franchise has done is has evolved, especially Vegeta's character. He does care about his family. He does care, and just you got to break those layers again. We just talked about layers, just breaking them layers, and then you'll see, like, yeah, he does care. He cares about Bulma. You know, I mean, when Beerus hit her, like he flipped out. He's like, I'm like, yeah, I get it. You know, but yeah, I mean, people need to understand is like, if it wasn't for Son Goku, Vegeta wouldn't be at the state where he is now. It is Goku who pushed that man to being what he is now. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be as he is now. Because to his eyes, he's the prince. So automatically he should be the best warrior. It don't always work like that. And I would love somebody in the universe to tell him that. Like, it don't always work like this. Sometimes the low grades are where it comes from. Goku struggled more. He struggled more than Vegeta. Vegeta had it easy to a degree. Yeah, they were ruled under Frieza's rule, but still, they it is what it is. Have you read Batman and Spawn? I've read all the Batman. I've read all three crossovers. Who's the voice of Batman? Wait, who's the voice of Batman if they can do a Sponge and Batman animated movie? Oh, shit, whatever. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try that one. Uh, what do you think of both Son Gohan and Piccolo being the main focus in the recent? I was fine with that. I was fine with that. I mean, it's not the first time Gohan was the focus, because in the BoJack movie, Gohan was the focus. Wasn't um and Gohan evolved, and so did Piccolo. Piccolo, I was more happy for than Gohan, because Piccolo has never gotten an upgrade in power like he did in that. That was really cool to see. I was like, that's cool. But hearing Akira Toyama say Gohan is the strongest, and I look at that and I said to myself, for how long, Mr. Toyama? How long before you write it in that yeah, Goku has ascended to being a god? Because at the end of the day, no matter what, the focus of Dragon Ball is still always around Goku. Sorry, guys, but it's true. And when y'all tried to kill him off and then move it on to the next gen, fans didn't want that. They were like, no, we're not having that. We don't. I don't care if we're Gohan in high school and all that other stuff and being goofy and stupid and no, give us back Goku. Sad. Who'd win the eating contest? Wario or Wario? Wario or Tasmanian Devil? Taz. All the way. I'm a 2010 guy. Oh, see, okay. So, Ed and Eddie. Eddie! Kill Double D? Jawbreakers! Sorry. Samurai Jack, good show. Steven Universe, I still need to finish watching that. Adventure Time! My uncle used to say that kid Finn got issues. But yeah, one of my favorite episodes of Adventure Time is Goliath. No, princess. Go, no, princess. I'm stronger than B. I crushed B. That's funny. God, Goliath. Don't let her read your mind. And Gravity Falls. Love Gravity Falls. Um, so here's a quick question. What if Chi Chi actually inherited her father's, the Ox King's massive height and strength? Um, I mean, it wouldn't really make too much of a difference because even if she wouldn't be stronger than Goku it would be interesting, but after that, once again, when you look at everything that they did in Dragon Ball, they completely just moved on from all that. Is it weird for me to have a sort of soft spot for the Phantom Menace? Anything possible. Are you curious about Unicorn Warriors Eternal? What is that? I have no idea what that's funny. Mention unicorns because I'm about to spoil something. In Captain Marvel, Fury of the Gods, unicorns were the most feared creatures ever. They all creatures from minotaurs, centaurs, harpies, all that feared unicorns. They weren't the fun-loving, that we saw. They were dark and gritty and angry. They hated humans, but they loved honey, and it was pretty funny how they were able to kind of so-called tame them. But I found that so funny that unicorns were like the worst and like the most feared creatures. Did the Spectre and the Phantom Stranger fight? Who would? Uh, I would say it would somewhat be a tie. It's like two gods going at it. It's mad. It's made by the guy who did Samurai Jack. Oh, are we talking about that? No, that's not the one that I'm talking. No, let me make sure. Make sure. Is it the one I saw? I saw a trailer to something by the same Takarsky. Um, let me see. What is it? I probably have seen it. Yes, I am gonna watch that. I saw that trailer. I was like, "Ooh, that looks fun." Yes, I did see that. Yes, with the girl who looks more like a badass Betty Boop. I was like, hey, Betty Boop. But yes, I am gonna watch that with the monk and all that. That was cool. Yes, I saw that trailer. It was cool. Uh, yeah, Janin Tostarsky. Yep, creator of Dexter and Symbiotic Titan, which I loved. Symbiotic Titan. I wish that didn't get canceled. Uh, that was a good show too. I wish Symbiotic Titan didn't. And I think it all they. I don't know if it was the episode with the girl was twerking and trying to get what's name to do her homework for her. You know, she didn't show anything, but it came off real like, yo, this is they're pushing it, and you can still find that scene on YouTube, like her just move it, shake it, move it, break it, move it around, and she's twerking and just the look she's giving him, and then I'm like, what? Like it was pretty funny. I love that. That was a good episode. Uh, Mostly all his even I love his with the caveman and the dinosaur like that. That's good stuff. Mostly all of Toskarsky's work is good. He even did a short on one of my favorite cartoon legends, Popeye, and I thought it was great. I was like, hey, Popeye. I see Popeye. I'm always gonna watch. I'm a big Popeye fan. The One-Eyed Sailor. Let's see. Hey, kid, the geek in the game was good. What do you, John Netherton? What do you think about what do you, what do you think would happen if John Wick met the Hand? That would be interesting, and ooh, that would be a crazy crossover. The Hand coming after John Wick or so. That'd be interesting. What's your childhood trauma? My childhood trauma. Wow. Okay. My was Diesel 10 from Thomas the Engine. What's yours, Chris? Uh, Trauma. Well, face huggers. I hate them. I still hate them to this day. I'm terrified of those things. Uh, Ever since I was a kid, I saw Alien for the first time with my late mom. She showed me that movie, and I was cool with the xenomorphs. No problem. Xenomorphs, no problem. Don't scare me at all. Just a little gross. But as soon as them eggs open up and that shit come rolling out, and nope. Then the first time they showed Ripley was behind one wall, her and forgetting the little girl's name, and it just jumped up on the wall, and you could just see it. I'm like, nope. And then you just see them. It's the thought of that thing crawling up me, jumping on me, and then, oh yeah, okay, it's on you, so you could basically pull it off. Nope, because this motherfucker gonna wrap its tail on it and then jab it in your neck. So you're pulling, you can't get that. I Facehuggers creep, they scare me to death. I still and Ty knows this because anytime we have gone to conventions together and he's like, yo, Chris, look, facehugger. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking slap you if you that come down like I've had family members say, "Yeah, we're gonna make you a face hugger cake or something." I said, I will kick you in your mouth, or I'll throw that cake back at you. Do not play with me." Movies like The Fly used to creep me out, and I got over that demon. I got over The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. I know that does not scare me anymore, but it is the face huggers still to this day. I cannot watch anytime I know when that coming. I'll close my eyes. As old as I am now, it still bothers me. It still scares me. It is something. It is a demon that will still be haunt me for the rest of my life. And if God willing blesses me with kids, they're probably gonna make fun of me with that. Daddy's scared of that. I'm like, yeah, I can't. And the fact that my brother actually said that Ridley Scott said there was going to be a giant one. Get out of here. Can't. Nope. Uh, so yes, if you want to talk trauma, yeah, there you go. That's a trauma. I'm probably going to. I'm going to be alone on this, but I actually like the Popeye. Robin Williams did not do a bad job as Popeye. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it bombed at the box office, but in terms of performance wise, Robin Williams did not do a bad job as Popeye. I found it hilarious that he didn't like spinach, and I was like, "That's funny." Like I ain't losing this fight. I ain't. And his his pappy was like, "If you'd eaten that spinach like I told you, you wouldn't be losing this fight. I ain't losing it. I ain't eating no spinach." And Pluto just shoved it down his throat like, "You don't like spinach, huh?" I hates it. And he just that was funny. And then of course he realized and Shelly uh she looked just like Olive. It was ridiculous how much she looked like Olive. It looked like Olive just stepped out of the TV or whatever and was live. She looked just like Olive. Even her mannerisms, the way she, like it was great. So yeah, I like the Popeye movie as well. I think they filmed most of that in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so yeah, it was good. I don't mind that. I don't mind the Popeye live action movie. But when it comes to Popeye, I'll always pick cartoon over live action any day. Popeye is the reason why spinach is probably one of my favorite vegetables. Like I'll eat spinach with anything, like any food. Like if I have you meat your two veggies or anything like that or something like that, it always be spinach with it. Like because yeah, it's Popeye. Popeye did that. Like I because of Popeye, I eat spinach. I actually tried to do the whole and I couldn't do it as a kid. It didn't work. Like I just squished the can, and when you open it up, and then when I finally opened it, I did that, and I was like, ugh. Like I remember when I did that, I was like a kid. I was like, what? How does that? It doesn't taste weird, So and like I like spinach pizza. I like spinach pizza. Yeah, it took me a while, but I would always when I go every time I go to a pizza parlor, and I would see it there, and I'd be like, sure, get it. And then finally one day I got it, and I liked it. I was like, okay. And I started mixing spinach with things. I would try spinach and pepperoni. Worked. Things like that. So yeah, it works. I start mixing toppings and for example, I'm one of those people that like pineapple on pizza. Call me crazy, but I do. I know people say if you like pineapple on pizza, you're crazy. Well, I'm crazy. So anyway, what would Thor think of Finn and Jake from Adventure Time if he he were to get transported to the land of Ooh? I think he would think they're brave. Thor, we're talking Marvel's Thor, right? Are we talking Marvel's Thor or are we just talking Norse mythology Thor? If we're talking Marvel's Thor, he would find solace in even though Finn and them are young, he would give him his clap. John, do you think Mr. Reeves could who do you think Mr. Reeves could play in the MCU? Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider for sure. He's definitely a pick. He's definitely uh my pick for Ghost Rider. Which Ghost Rider? I don't care. He's even said he would want to play Ghost Rider. So yeah. Um, the fact is, Keanu Reeves he's getting up there. I mean, he's not getting any younger, but to me, you need a veteran actor to play Ghost Rider. not just somebody. Yes, start with the original. Start with Johnny Blaze. Don't just jump to Robbie Reyes. I understand people want to see Robbie Reyes, but that's some of my biggest issues with Marvel is they jump right to the newer version, the next generation, and you forget about the legacy of that character. That's why I said whenever they bring Nova into the MCU, they better start with Richard Rider. Don't jump right to Sam Alexander. You just jump. Nah, I'm talking about the real Nova, not what we saw them rent-a-cops. Chris, who's the villain in Guardians 3? That Chris Funk is the High Evolutionary. High Evolutionary is a advanced human in a sense. He's the one also responsible for somewhat the twins, Wanda and Pietro. But he also creates all those hybrid humans like Bova, the cow woman who raised Wanda and Pietro. So yeah, he's gonna be in that. But in this, it makes it seem like he created Rocket. Uh, I don't think Samurai Jack he couldn't beat Akuma because Akuma has a raging demon. It's not just that. It's just the fact that Akuma would not even take Samurai Jack seriously because one, he's got a weapon. Akuma hates weapons. He feels you got a weapon, you're not fighting at your true potential. You're not using your real skills. You're using a tool to extend your fighting prowess. He hates that. He hates that indeed. So how would the predator Yautja think of the oh no from Avatar? Oh, they'd be trying to hunt them. They would definitely be trying to hunt them. The Yautja be hunting them. They definitely would look at them as prey. Like, let's get them. Any books you like to see adapted? Books that I like to see adapted. More I would say more Jason Bourne books because I've read mostly all the Bourne books. Bourne Identity, Bourne Legacy, Bourne this, Bourne, there's like 22 Bourne books and Jason stars in all of them. Uh, we've seen Jack Reacher get a remake, which is well needed. Don't get me wrong, I give Tom Cruise credit, but Alan Richardson, who plays Jack Reacher in the show on Amazon, is true to the character because it is written in the book describing what Jack Reacher looks like. He's a big man. Tom Cruise is not that big. For example, another thing, like for example, man, my mouth is dry. Hold on. Uh, I'll be right back again, guys. Okay. Needs my Gatorade. Better. All right. For example, what was I saying, Caroline? For example, do you all realize that they whitewashed um they whitewashed the character Jennifer Lawrence played in Hunger Games? If you read the books, it clearly describes her in detail, full detail of what she looks like, and she is a biracial woman. They and she Jennifer Lawrence is not biracial. I hate when they whitewash characters. That's another pet peeve of mine that I hate. I hate that. I'm like, why'd you do that? Like, John, what is your favorite Robin Williams movie? Mine is either Good Will Hunting. That was a good movie. Good Morning Vietnam. Good movie. So let me tell you a story about Robin Williams. Celebrities die. There have been a lot of celebrity deaths. That a lot of celebrities have died over the years, and I always feel bad. I always, my condolences to their family. But let me tell you, when he died, that hurt. That hurt. That hurt so much. That felt like I lost a family member. I felt like the pain. It was Lou and Ryan Williams felt like the same kind of pain when I lost my mother. That's how bad it hurt, and it became so bad for the years after he was in the ground. I could not watch any movie he was in for 3 years. I couldn't watch anything of his because every time I start, I just break down and cry. And then finally, one day, a couple of years later, the years after, I said, you know what? One of his movies on, I was like, oh, let me watch it. What movie was that? Bicentennial Man, when he was the robot. I sat down, watched it, and I was pretty good. I was like, the pain's still there, but I'm good. I think I'll be all right. And ever since then, it was the same thing. I would watch. So I started to go in my collection and watch Robin Williams movies just to make sure. Even if it wasn't, I would just listen to his voice. You got even episodes of like TV shows he was on. Like I'd watch his classic show, Mort and Mindy. Mort and Mindy. That's how long I go back with Robin Williams when he was doing TV. And I remember watching the episode where he was even a bad guy when he was on Law and Order SVU. He was the bad guy in that, and when he was basically yelling at Benson, or I think it was Stabler, to push this button, like push that button, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I love Robin Williams, and I miss him every day. His death hit hard as much as same thing. Like there are a few celebrity deaths that hit me hard. Stan Lee's death hit me. Oh, that hit me hard. That hit me so hard because I met the man. I met the man, and that hurt. Michael Jackson's death hurt me. Prince's death hurt me. Um, uh, Muhammad Ali's death hurt me. I knew it was coming, but event there's some but you don't want to see it. I was always hoping maybe, and he would be alive to maybe see a possible cure for Parkinson's, but maybe not to cure him, but to see it happen because he was just far too into the Parkinson's. And then so anytime I see stuff from Muhammad Ali, you know, it's joyful, but it also hurts, because it's like. And then of course there are some. I'm a big professional wrestling fan too, so a lot of a lot of pro wrestlers I grew up with. Those deaths hurt. Those hurt because a lot of them I met before. Eddie Guerrero's death hurts. Roddy Piper's death hurts. That hurts. Like those. So yeah, like I said. But in terms of, but in terms of favorite movies, Robin Williams is once again same thing. Too many. But I always go back to Hook. I love Hook. Um, he will always be the voice of Genie. Always. Um, I always loved the first Jumanji. Uh, there was a movie he did when Patch Adams. I love Patch Adams. I love that movie. There was also a movie where he died. Forgetting the name of it. It was him, Cuban Gooding Jr., and he died. And heaven was like when a person died in heaven and you go to heaven, it's your imagination that creates where you are in heaven. And it was really cool. And I forgot the name of it. And then he traveled to hell to get his wife out of hell. I love that movie. Oh, that movie got me. Anybody know what the title of that movie was? I forgot what it was called, but it was good. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, Robin. There's so many Robin Williams movies I love, and even the ones that, like I said, even Goodwill Hunting. He was all those movies. Good Morning Vietnam. He was great in those movies. He was great. And Popeye. I love him. Popeye. There you go. Would you be crazy enough to pull on the mask? Put on the mask. Maybe. Uh Guitars and good day. What's good? How what time is it in Australia right now? It's in the afternoon, right? It should be in the afternoon. How's everything going with you? Uh I hope they do a movie of Lobo versus the Mask. That'd be fun. Lobo versus the Mask. I wanted Lobo. I eat spinach too because of Popeye. Yeah, he's like, yo, Popeye just maybe back when I brought up the Shadow taking on the organization. I think the Shadow would straight up destroy them. The Shadow knows, man. In his network, the Shadow knows, and the Shadow's guns take them down. The Shadow, not just his guns. I mean, Shadow could just his ability to warp people's minds is just crazy. I love that stuff. Shadow is one of my favorite pulp era heroes. It's if you would have asked me who's neck and neck in pulp, it's him and the Phantom, the ghost who walks, who I both believe need to get a better an up to date version of them. To me, I think they would work better as TV series, not movies. And what I mean, like maybe on Netflix or something. If John, if they made the mask like the comic, I think Deadpool himself would play the character pretty much. Yeah. Vegeta don't like being second banana. Yeah, he doesn't, but he needs to realize that he is. He doesn't like it, but he needs to realize that he is because he is. It's just here it is: earth, fire, water, or air. Which one is you? I'm water. I've always been water. Not just because of Bruce Lee saying it, be water, my friend, but I've always looked at myself as water. Water is everything. Water is one of the most powerful elements. A lot of the other elements can't do anything to water. Fire can't, earth can't, wind, maybe. But outside of that, no. Water can douse flames, can move earth. So yeah, be water because it can flow or it can crash. Quentin, I wish they make the this crossover Green Lantern and Predator. I want to see a Predator getting a green yellow lantern ring. Uh, I don't think he needs one. I don't think the Predator needs a ring. Yeah, yeah. How come Hellboy has never crossed paths with Spawn? I don't know. Maybe just um, Todd McFarlane, maybe just doesn't want to do it. My heart broke into pieces the day I heard Robin Williams died. He was one of my idols and one of the many people I wanted to meet at really early on. His death hurt. Like that hurt. That legitimately hurt. I that felt like I lost the people I lost in my life, my family. I was just hurt. That Malcolm Young, ACD, the younger brother to George, death hit me very hard too. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of musicians that hurt as well. Um, like like I said, just like like Prince's death. That just threw me off. I was like, wait, what? Like what? Like it really was. Michael Jackson's death will always hurt. It will always hurt because it's like I'm first of all, it's like I'm happy for Janet because she's still doing her thing and keeping the Jackson legacy alive as best she can. But I remember watching a documentary, I think, of her, and I think she was in. I don't know where she was. I don't think she was in her hometown of Gary, Indiana. But um, on the side of a building was a painting of her brothers, and she just nearly broke down and cried. And I was just like, I felt bad for her. I was like, oh my God, I want to give her a hug. Like, because that's crazy. It was when they were still the Jackson Five, but still, it's the thing is like, when, that these people can't live forever. You understand that, but it doesn't matter as much because it still hurts. Like, especially if they did everything they could in their lives to be good, and the life of an entertainer can be hard, very hard. A lot of things. There are a lot of obstacles that quote unquote the devil is going to throw at you in that lifestyle. The drugs, this and that. You know, and sometimes even if you get off that drug, sometimes it's too late. Good example of that is Corey Haim, Corey Feldman's good friend. That's a group I grew up with as a kid. Like the Coreys. He got off of drugs, but it was just too late. You know, Mrs. Doubtfire was good too. The biggest death that hurt me was Eddie. I remember when I saw Dave Batista come out in Lowrider, I cried. Yeah, like I said, Eddie Guerrero's death hurt me because um I got a call from my dad. My dad had called me and he was like, he was just checking up on me. He's like, "Hey, Chris, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good, Dad. What's going on?" He's like, that wrestler Eddie Guerrero? I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, he died. And I'm like, "Dad, that's not funny. Like, why?" I was like, "Dad, what are you doing? That's not funny. Why you?" And then, sure enough, yeah. I'm like, "What?" And in the last match, I remember him having. He wrestled on SmackDown, and he had a match with Mr. Kennedy, and that was the last thing I saw of him. And then, yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, that his death hit. His death hurt. But but though his death hurt, I didn't appreciate WWE abusing it. Like everything after that started to center around Eddie. Especially I remember when Randy Orton said to Rey Mysterio, who just recently went to the Hall of Fame, like, Eddie's not up there, he's down there. And I remember later hearing, Randy Orton say that he hated saying that. You know, everything became about Eddie. Yeah, it was. It was like you abused it. In terms of now, what's going on with the Guerrero family, it's just sad hearing the stuff that's going on. 1 p.m. Yeah, yeah. I figure it's like an afternoon down there. It's good, pretty good. I just moved to the house. I saw the move, nice, and I'm loving it. In a new area, feels like home. That's good. That's good to know. Do you have a Bruce Lee figure? Yes, I do. My bro, uh, Blue Goblin, actually got it from me. It's up there. Is it up there? It's behind Mega Man. It's up there. He's still in the plastic. I didn't take it out yet. So I do have a Bruce Lee figure. What's your favorite Donnie Yen movie? Oh man. Uh that's tough. That's even tougher because I do have a lot of love for Donnie Yen. And love and respect. And most people are not familiar with Donnie Yen's movie, especially here in the West. They most of them just got on board of him because of maybe they saw him in the Star Wars movie. But for me, I've been rocking with Donnie Yen for a long time. His mom taught him how to fight. That's cool. She's a master. Outside of It Man, of course that's good stuff too, but you know, he's done so many movies and it's crazy. It is crazy how, just hearing the stuff that he's been through as he works, like I love how he compares like in Hong Kong and China, like working, you sometimes you're gonna work hurt. Like it's different than here. It's very different. But if but one of my favorites is when he played the Monkey King, because I'm a huge Monkey King. It's one of my favorite myths, Chinese myth, the Monkey King, which is where Son Goku came from as well. So yes, uh, what were what were they thinking with the god awful sequel? Cash. Did you feel bad when Ryan Reynolds? Did you feel bad for Ryan Reynolds after Green Lantern? Uh, yeah, I did. I don't blame Ryan for the bad Green Lantern movie because I even said like I think he could be a pretty good Hal Jordan, you know, but no, I thought Mark Strong was a damn pretty good Sinestro, but to see him put on the yellow ring at the end, I'm like, okay, and because to me it was no build. The problem I had with is we didn't see any kind of defection of Sinestro turning on the core because that's what he did. There was no reason for him to get the yellow ring. It was and Paradox in that. Oh my God, he looked like just a big talking pile of dome. Yeah, so I don't blame him. Uh, but Blake Lively as Carol was terrible terrible casting. That was terrible. I was like, really? She's not Carol. and them using Hector Heyman. I was like, wow. What are your thoughts on Cody losing to Roman? Bad call, bad choice. That should have went to Cody. Cody should have won. Cody should have won. And my issue with Roman is it's the same fucking ending every match, every match with the bloodline. It's always the same. It seems to always be the same. The face is always got the upper hand, and all of a sudden, here comes one of his little puppy dog to help, and he wins. It's the same thing. If you go back and watch that match, Solo gets ejected, and here he comes back again and interferes in them, and I'm like, really? I understand they want to get Roman to, I guess, 1,000 days and everything, but if there was any time to take that title off of Roman, WrestleMania was the time. To me, they looked at night one with, okay, we're gonna give the fans everything we want night one, but night two, we're not changing anything. That's how I looked at it. And I hated that. Now you got Cody, his Brock Lesnar now is his obstacle, and it's like, and that was the biggest scare. It's like, okay, so if y'all run it back, by the time y'all run it back, will Cody's momentum have declined because of that? It didn't make sense. And there's a lot of people that said that was a bad call, bad booking. They should have gave that. Because it seems like, because to me, there's still good story with the bloodline. Yeah. Is the bloodline the best ongoing story going on in WWE in a long time? Yes, that is true. But does Roman need that title to keep that story going? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. So yeah, that was terrible. I'm an air person, but I do like fire. Okay. I think Skips from a regular show would be can beat your Jiro Hanma because Skips fights a baby god. Do you truly see yourself waterbending? Yeah. It's not just waterbending. That's just if I'm looking at the element, I'm just water. I hope they do make Rush Hour 4. It's been talked about. Yeah, I mean, Chris Tucker has said, yeah, they're still going to do it, or negotiations or something that's been going on. Ever since he's he's got his GQ video up where it showcases his career, and I think they brought it up in that too. And some people have asked him, "What's your favorite angry grandpa video show?" My episodes when he gets destroyed in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I really don't. I still hope we get another Lantern movie. We're getting a series. It's going to be a series. Do you think Ryan Reynolds would make a good sufferer? Hell no. No. Would you be down for another Batman Hellboy crossover? I like crossovers, so I'll say yes. I think that's the last of it. Okay, guys. This was fun and very fun indeed. But we're gonna end it here. I appreciate everybody coming out who did come out. Listen to what Chris said and likes that video up. So I appreciate with everybody coming out, but now I'm getting hungry. I don't know why I'm getting hungry, and I don't want to be eating on camera like eating on camera. Uh, but thank you for watching. I'll see you guys. We'll do another one. We're gonna do another one this year for the end of the year. Probably be same time Thursday. It'll probably be in 2 weeks. So that'll be like the April 27th. May come back. We'll do it again there. Maybe April 27th, or it could be Tuesday, April 25th. So yes. Just gonna answer what John asked. I don't understand the people who say AU has the best booking because they. Oh my God, yes, yes they do. The tribalism between AEW fans and is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The tribalism is so. As of right now, they still don't even know what Soraya and all of them are. Are they trying to be NWO? Or are they trying to be the Shield? And they're getting all that stuff is getting boring now because it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over. There, I have laughed at. Good night, Caroline. I have laughed at people calling Tony Khan the best booker of the year because he's not. Because to me, it makes me wonder when they do take the belt off of Jade, what are they going to do with her? Do they even have plans for her? And she doesn't even defend it. It is what it is. So yes. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for. I hope I answered your questions to the fullest. I will see you guys next time. Like I said, either the 25th or the 27th. You'll know. But with that, deuces.